That is so awesome.
Oh, wow. We are green. I didn't even notice.
Yeah, we're green, dude. I like green color doing that. I just, you know what? I'm going to sit and do make a little, we're now live.
Yeah, and I was not playing it. We have not had any beer tonight yet.
Not yet.
No, that was sober.
Hey, when do we start drinking? I'm going to sit and play with that thing even more. That thing's freaking awesome, dude.
Wow.
I love doing that. Let's see. We're going to sit and just go into an echo. Wait a minute, right here. Is it doing it? No, it's not there. It's right here. Hello. Hello?
No.
There's different effects.
You sounded like the chipmunks there.
Did I?
Yeah, it was a little high-pitched squeal.
That's kind of cool, man.
I know. I like it. Well, evening, everybody. I'm Dave.
And I'm Jeff.
We're beer drinkers with a Bible fetish.
Yep. So we're going to drink some beer.
Absolutely.
And talk about the Bible. I don't even think we talked about even what we're going to talk about tonight, but that's cool. We'll just bring shit up.
Yeah,
so that's all right.
Happen. There's been actually some cool articles that aren't like super old, like stuff that actually just got posted.
Yeah, there is some recent stuff that came up, and so we can sit and talk about that. But let's start with the beer.
Yeah.
All right. So we're doing tonight. We're going to start with a Shiner. Most of you have probably heard of Shiner Bock. I found this birthday beer. You can see it's a rye.
A farmhouse rye, to be exact.
That's right. So it's pretty low in APV. So ABV, I should say, 4.3.
Yeah.
So it's not too bad. So this is be a good drinkable beer at a party or something like
Utah?
that.
Is that what we're going with? Because it's 4.3.
It's actually Texas, dude.
Wow.
Yeah, Shiner Brewery in Texas. So
we raise a glass to tradition. So for our 109th birthday, we're celebrating with a limited edition beer inspired by the homemade brew enjoyed after a long day in the fields. Our farmhouse rye is made.
I didn't get it the first pop.
Rye.
I'm slacking.
Then coarsely filtered for a hazy and flavorful finish. Enjoy.
Cheers. All right, first impression. Not too bad. You can definitely tell it's a rye.
You can tell it's Shiner Bock.
Yes, you can. Let's get a little head here.
Oh, just a tip.
There we go. A little head going. Maybe a little bit too much head. You can see the glass.
Oh, jeez. Look at that. That's what you were looking for, son. That's a pour.
I didn't tilt it. I just put it straight.
Yeah.
So, got a little cold going here. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Some leftover from Germany.
Bringing the German germs over, huh?
Bringing the German germs. Oh, yeah.
Jeez.
Probably should have gone into quarantine or something before I came over here.
Do you have an echo? No. Does
no, there shouldn't. No echo.
It's all turned off?
It's all turned off. Echo's off.
Weird.
Hello.
Nope. Okay.
Now echo.
How's
How's
that
that
sounded
working?
a little echo. So.
Echo.
Stop.
Echo.
Oh.
You know, when are you going to trim that beard, dude?
Don't want to.
Really? It's looking kind of scraggly tonight.
Yeah, I lost my beard comb. I didn't lose it. It's in a pair of shorts, and
You got the one gray hair too.
I know.
Y'all see it. He's got this one gray hair that's like huge, just like
and it's just growing down.
yeah.
I gotta go
I'm
get
surprised.
it.
I'm surprised the wife hasn't picked that out.
No.
Just grabbed it and jerked it out like my wife does.
No, the wife just jokes all the time that her and the baby keep giving me more and more.
Well, that's probably true.
They're waiting for it to fill in.
Yeah, kids have a tendency to do that. Give you all them gray hairs.
Hey, listen, once this sucker goes gray, you know how much money I can make? I was probably minimum wage, but I can be Santa Claus in the winter.
So I'll tell you what, too. I was, I was out this weekend. I went up and saw my daughter up in outside Spokane in Newport, and it was really interesting. We visited a couple different breweries out there. One of them we went to was in Idaho, some little town. Idaho?
No, who's the hoe?
Who the hoe?
Who's the hoe?
Not me. Maybe you.
Where'd you go?
I went to Idaho.
Oh, Idaho. Idaho. Oh, okay.
So anyway, I went to this little brewery there, and I ordered. I mean, it wasn't bad. They were trying to make a Mexican beer. Actually, they had one. It was supposed to be their knockoff of their own version of like Corona. Yeah, it wasn't really that great. I wouldn't call it great. Definitely, I drank a couple because I mean they were all right, but it wasn't real good. So, and I know Mexican beer like the Corona beers are one of the hardest ones to make because of the fermenting process. Yeah, it's very hard because of the fermenting process, the temperatures they have to be at. You have to ferment them at a very, very low temperature, and it has to be consistent. You know, if you take a beer like Anchor Steam, who's trying to do the same type of beer, and they do it at room temperature. I don't know if you ever had Anchor Steam.
I have had it a long time ago. I don't remember it.
Yeah, it became popular for a while from San Francisco. It's basically the same beer, but at room temperature. It doesn't taste anything like what it should taste like. You know,
because but it's room temp fermentation.
Exactly.
Cold.
So it's not. I don't think it's very good. I'm not very fond of Anchor Steam for that reason. I think they tried to mimic that.
Had it so long ago, I don't remember what it tasted like. So we'll have to add it to the list.
Maybe we'll just do it one this time. It's been a long time since I've had it too. Oh. But anyway, I had that beer, that Mexican beer. It was like so. They have a red there, and I'll try to remember what these breweries are and post them on our Facebook, so you guys can, if you're ever up in that, if you're ever up in Idaho, you can go there and check it out.
What state?
Idaho.
Oh, Idaho.
Idaho. So if you're up in Idaho, you can check out that brewery. But we went to one in Spokane also, and I'll have to try to remember that one too, because there's breweries all over up in that area anyway. These little breweries.
Northwest is full of them.
They
Idaho,
are.
Oregon.
Well, this one happens to have two of them within one. One of them is an actual distillery. It's one of the only distilleries up there that's a little private distillery. I'll tell you what, they had this a whiskey that was aged in oak oak barrels for a very long time. But it was raised in a port wine oak barrel for a couple extra years. Great whiskey. Really good. So, I'll have to post that so you guys do it. Because you can probably write them or something and get it.
Any back?
I didn't. So, because I wasn't sure about bringing that stuff on the plane. I know they say you can, but you know what? They hassle you anyway. So,
especially with carry-on. Like if it's checked, it's a little different.
Yeah, and my daughter lives up there, so if I ever want to get some, I might just have them ship it or something. I can do something, or even get a hold of them.
Yeah.
But they had also a stout that was really good, like a Russian type stout. Excellent beer. That I really enjoyed, their stout. They did a great job with that stout, that brewery. So if you're ever up there, I mean, that brewery there in Spokane did great with their whiskey. And great, and they had not only whiskey, they had vodkas that they made their own.
I mean, just told her, I'm sure they
did some bourbons. They did all kinds of stuff. I didn't try their vodka or anything. I mean, vodka's not supposed to have any flavor anyway, so you add it.
Vodka's not vodka because there is Russian vodka.
Yeah. And I was in Russia many years ago in high school, and nobody beats Russian vodka. I mean, honestly, maybe it's because I was there. So
when I was 20, I was in Japan, and one of the families I stayed with, the dad had some Russian vodka.
Guess my head's done.
Oh.
Let's finish pouring that in there.
Hey. Yeah, Russian vodka has a bite. That's for sure.
It was actually very good over there. It didn't have much of a bite at all. It was very smooth.
Oh, the one I had it had a bite. I was also 20 and wasn't really drinking, but it was legal to drink in Japan, so
that's why, yeah.
I was.
Of course, when you're 20 years old and it's legal to drink, bring it on!
Oh,
man. It's like,
that was great. Being in Japan as a 20-year-old, everywhere you went, it was an amazing experience.
Yeah, this beer's not bad. This beer's not bad. I'm a fan of Shiner Bock myself, though.
Yeah,
I kind of like them.
It's definitely a rye Shiner. Like it's Shiner Bock with rye, and
you can tell.
Taste the rye.
It's smooth though. It's very smooth. This is a good drinkable beer. I would think at like a party or something where you just want to hang out and have a few. Mm-hmm. Kind of light. It's kind of light beer too.
It's very light. It's not very heavy.
It's not heavy. It's not gonna be heavy in your stomach or anything. Just make you pee a lot. That's about it.
Yeah.
So you have to go find a lot of trees out in this one.
Yeah.
Of course, here in the desert where we are, you just find a lot of bushes. So or your buddy's car tire.
Or you just go to the dirt.
Yeah, whatever.
Whatever you can find.
Whatever you got to do.
But it is actually a good beer. I mean, I know a lot of people don't like Shiner, but as someone who likes Shiner Bock.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Mm-mm. So what have you seen lately in the news as far as what's going on?
So the one article that I sent to you, I sent you the one in Relevant Magazine. The one I saw was somewhere else, but it was Lifeway Research came with a poll that basically stated people don't leave their churches over music or like all the fluffery, like the stuff that people focus on.
You mean when they start playing that rock music, people don't leave?
No, they get upset and annoyed by the change in worship.
What's wrong with the rock music, man?
Some people don't like it that loud.
It's better than that organ crap.
Okay.
Do you like that imitation?
You're like that old couple that raps about Jesus and their youth ministry. Have you seen that video on YouTube?
No.
Oh, dude, this is hysterical. We're gonna.
Do they like the organ? I'm not a big fan of the organ.
There's like this old couple that runs a church somewhere in like probably the Bible Belt. I'm just assuming because it looks like.
Do they dance at their church?
Oh, yes, because this couple's dancing.
Oh, they dance,
but he's rapping. Like,
wow,
60-year-old white guy and like 60-year-old woman. I'm totally age.
And they're going to be a YouTube sensation. Watch this.
Oh, no. This video's been around for years. It's been around for years.
You know, I've probably seen it then. I bet I have.
It's just like, get down with Jesus. And they're like trying to be all cool and hip. And you know what? I can't even really hate on them because the courage it takes to do something like that and then upload it to YouTube.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if they understood the impact of the social media or YouTube in general.
They probably didn't. They probably didn't understand what we'd watching this thing.
This video has been viewed, I'm thinking, 1 million times, if not more, because I get every once in a while.
They set that up for ads.
You know,
imagine the donations
they could fund the church or build
just from that.
But they uploaded this thing and it just went. It goes viral every couple of months or so.
Somebody sees it again and
then all of a sudden it gets shared everywhere. And it's always like, I will always share this when it pops up because it's hysterical. It's absolutely hysterical. I'll post it to the Facebook page so that everyone can watch it because it's great.
I'm telling you, man, it's I like the loud music at the church. I mean, that's kind of what I'm into. I like that kind of stuff. But I know a lot of people. I have friends that they complain about it and whine about it, but yet they still go.
Right,
like you said.
And so what the research was saying is the number one issue that people leave church. I think it was 54%. I'd have to relook, but
I think it was. Yeah, 54%. You sent it to me.
They leave for doctrinal issues.
Yeah,
it's all doctrinal based, and it kind of gave me some comfort. Like, wow, so the majority of church actually cares about what matters, which is the doctrine.
Yeah.
Because music...
Now here's the thing, though. The doctrine that they're teaching, though, it depends upon the doctrine they're teaching, too, because are they teaching a doctrine that wouldn't be biblically based, like many of them do, like a lot of churches do, so they stay for that thinking that's the doctrine because they've never actually read their Bible.
Yeah, and
so you got to look at it that way, too. How many people actually read their Bible? Most people don't.
Granted... But the one thing I would add, Lifeway did another research a few years ago that gets cited. Ed Stetzer, who works at Lifeway, posted it out that more traditional conservative-based doctrinal, like more old-school orthodoxy, very traditional-based, those churches are actually growing.
Mm-hmm. I would believe
and more of the liberal-based, doctrinally-based churches
are not.
So, and of course, we're using studies and research, so take it for what it's worth. But
I didn't do the study.
No, neither did I.
He did.
I'm just. Somebody's had a lot to drink, apparently.
Not yet.
But
everything you read on the internet's the truth.
Of course, like everything we're saying is on the internet, so it's gospel.
It is.
It's good news.
Just whatever we say. Look, I'm gonna look at you. Whatever we say, it's the truth.
Just like our truth.
Trust me. Oh yeah.
Oh, you almost went full R-Truth. I don't know if you know who R-Truth was. R-Truth was an old WWE wrestler from about 10 years ago.
I was doing Nixon, dude.
Yeah, you were doing Nixon, but R-Truth also had a little crazy tilt to him. So for those of you that are WWE fans, you remember R-Truth. He was a good wrestler.
It's all the truth.
No, but like if I put the two studies together, you put that together, people leave for doctrinal issues, and then church is growing. It's actually a good sign of a healthy church that people are sticking to more.
It is
like an orthodox, like a traditional based belief instead of more of the liberal tilt. So, of course, you're liberal, you're just going to hate us for everything we say on this anyway. So
yeah, it doesn't really matter. I don't really care. It doesn't make a difference to me.
It is what it is.
It's true, and well. You love us and you hate us and all at one time. I mean, I'm okay with that because you can agree to disagree.
Well, we can't have a conversation anymore to agree to disagree because now one has to be right and one has to be wrong. We can't even talk about it now.
It's bullshit. I mean, that's that's social media today. Isn't that bullshit what happens?
The hard part now is like I have to keep prefacing everything. And I had a friend actually bring this up that one of the guys that we both watch on the internet, he's a conservative commentator. He does these videos, and it's annoying to watch now because at first it was cool, like he'd have a conversation and ideas. Mm-hmm. Now he'll spend 20 minutes talking to someone just defining terms so they can have a conversation, and in the 20 minutes that he's talking, just to define the term, people are like, "You're putting words in my mouth." He's like, "No, I'm literally trying to understand the vernacular you're using, so I understand the conversation. So he gets into these debates with them. He knows where they're coming from, because nowadays everyone means so many different things when they talk. It's like he spends 20, 30 minutes just trying to define the words that they're going to use so that they can have a discussion. And it's getting annoying. Like, it's not even fun to watch anymore, because I watch these videos and I'm like, this person just got really upset with you over a half hour, and all you did was try to understand
where they're coming from.
Yeah. And in 20 to 30 minutes of just trying to understand what they're trying to explain, the person gets so flustered at you asking questions that you don't get anywhere. And then, this led to a conversation with a buddy of mine that we're like, nowadays it's like we're caught, and I'm a huge victim of this. I'm not a victim. Bad choice of words. But I fall prey to this mindset where I'm constantly defining myself, and it's like I can't even have a normal conversation without worried that everything's going to get taken out of context. And it's like,
you just gotta be like me, man. I don't give a shit.
I know.
I really don't. You know, if you like what I say or don't like what I say, I don't really care. Unfollow me, unfriend me.
Yeah.
Because and that's what's so stupid about it. And I hear that more and more from friends that I have, and I'm sure you've seen this too, where they're unfriending people, having to unfriend people because of stuff like that. They say one thing, and this person goes off on a rant and feels, you know, that they've been picked on, or because that it's the millennial safe space. Yeah, go to your freaking safe space then if you can't handle it.
See, I wouldn't even say it's millennials; it's just people today. Like it's all generations. We've lost the ability to communicate with each other
or criticize each other.
Right, and that's. And it's funny, I only find that on the internet. Like when I get around friends, or we get in like with the group we have, or the circle of friends I have, if I'm in my private life, I find myself not caring. Like I don't have to define myself. I just talk, and I don't have a problem calling people out or calling people. But then all of a sudden, it's like you get on the internet, and it's like you're just going to get attacked by every little thing, and you can't even have a conversation. Like the thing that annoys me about Facebook now, I don't post on, like I don't make making comments, because I'll want to post my opinion. Like somebody's like, hey, can you post this? And it's like, I can't even post an opinion, because about a year ago, I had a friend who was like, hey, I'm looking for conservative viewpoints on something. So I preface it and saying, I'm going to give you my opinion, but I'm not engaging in this conversation. You asked for my opinion, I'm not going to engage, because I didn't want to.
Because somebody's going to pick on you, somebody's going to take it out of context.
Yeah. And so I prefaced it. I even put it in there, and then I stated where I was coming from in my opinion, which I then proceeded to get attacked by somebody, and I'm like, I'm not engaging. I've given you what I was at. A friend asked for an opinion. I posted my opinion because he wanted to know where somebody's coming from, so I did. And then somebody started attacking me, and I was like, listen, man, I don't care.
But isn't it amazing?
And he kept engaging. I'm like, dude, stop.
When you don't engage with them, too, they feel offended that you didn't engage.
No, that was the problem.
Or they feel they won.
He kept attacking me, and then another friend, because I didn't know.
Oh, I won, dude, because you didn't come back, so I've won the conversation.
But it wasn't even a win. Like, he was attacking me, and then a friend was like, hey, Mike, you don't know this guy. And I was like, yeah, but he's not reading what I posted.
Yeah.
Like, he's literally not. He read, like, one line, took me out of context, and he didn't even read the top part. And then at the end of the conversation between him and another buddy of mine, they're like, oh, why didn't you, so you didn't want to engage? I was like,
I just said I didn't want to.
Did you not read the first line of the post?
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's turned into a play where it's just like, I don't feel like you can have a conversation.
Even if you say that, you almost have the expectation now on Facebook that you have to engage with anybody and everybody that you don't even know.
Yeah.
Because they made a comment, so now you're obliged to respond to them and get into this big old fight because some troll decided to come after you.
You know, I have a friend, he posted this, and I keep forgetting to do this. There's a blocker where you can block certain things on Facebook so it won't show up in your feed. Because he didn't want to hear or see any more Trump stuff on his Facebook. So he's like, he typed it in. So anything involving Trump now won't show up in his feed. And then I was reading the comments, there's like 5 or 6 other people of his friends that have all done the same thing. They're like, it made Facebook better because they could block out all the crap. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't just Trump. There was a bunch of political stuff they just didn't want to see anymore.
Yeah. And I've had to do that with some people, you know, especially some of the old high school that, we call these people friends on Facebook, but, many of them you haven't spoken to in 20 years or something, 10 years, whatever it may be, as somebody, an acquaintance at high school or something, and next thing you know, you're all upset because they've gone sideways and having a unfriend, unfollow. We weren't really friends then anyway, so I don't really care. And that's kind of the attitude I've taken on most of this. I don't give a shit I'll post whatever I want and say what I want, and I don't give a shit if you like it or not. Yeah. And if I criticize somebody, I don't usually do that on Facebook. I'm not going to do that on Facebook. There's no point. I find there's no point in getting into that on Facebook. So
I have learned,
just makes me mad.
I do enjoy that. I have a couple of friends that they just like different opinions, because they understand they live in a bubble, right? Social media is a bubble,
good,
and so they understand. So they're like, "Hey, I'm looking for opinions from other people," and I will say, outside of that one time where I somebody just engaged, not reading the post. The majority of the time when friends ask their opinion, I actually enjoy it because it's actually kind of cool to go through those feeds, because when you get somebody who's like, hey, I'm honestly looking for an honest opinion from somebody, whether you're a Trump supporter or you're an Obama supporter or you're a Christian or you're a Muslim, I'm looking for an opinion, and they'll preface and I'm looking for opinion from people like this because I want to get outside of what I know social media is created, right? Yeah. So how many of my friends are seeing this and posting? And those threads are actually some of the coolest threads to read. Outside of not the trolls, outside of the people that don't understand what's going on with a long form dialogue, it's cool to read because you realize that there actually are a ton of people that want to engage, but for whatever reason, the minority that's the loudest on social media just take
keyboard warriors. That's what I call them,
and they don't allow the conversation.
Mm-hmm. You know what I do with those people? What I've gotten toward, if I have somebody like that on my thread that really starts getting out of hand. Remove. I just remove them from the thread because I don't want the discourse that comes with it with everybody else in there. I don't need that. I don't want to see it. I don't want remove. And then they might get upset I'm removed. I don't give a shit. Yeah. It's my posting. I will remove your ass if that's what you do.
No. And we can take it back to the church. I think that the church, we have it's funny. It's funny how everything mimics everything, right? The church is mimicking culture. Because if you look at the church nowadays, the loudest people in the church don't engage in conversation. No. But then the vast majority of people you meet in the church, they engage in conversation with people. Mm-hmm. You actually build coalitions.
And people look at them as the minority, but they're not. The minority is the other people.
Is the vocal people.
Is the vocal people.
Yeah.
But it's that way in the whole world. I mean, look at minorities always seem to get their way about stuff. And yet they're the minority, because they're the loudest and the most vocal. Squeaky wheel gets the grease. It's the old saying,
And I just think it's funny. Everything mimics everything, and we don't really pay attention to what's actually happening. Oh, geez. Wow, you really are on a drinking binge tonight.
Dude, I've been drinking for 3 weeks straight between Burning Man, Germany, and now my trip up there. That's why I've kind of cut it out. I'm eating rice cakes now and salads.
Good for you.
Yeah, I've got to. You can only do this for so long.
Yeah.
You got to kind of cut it down. Okay. Let's rate that one. What do you think of it?
Shiner? So I've got to think about this for a second, right? Because I don't want to take my bias of Shiner. Shiner would probably be a 1.5, a 1.25. So this is a rye version of it. I don't know. I'll stick about the same way. I'll stick with a 1.25.
I was thinking 1.5.
Yeah.
Because I think it's a good drinking. If you're looking for a beer just to sit and drink, something that's got a little more flavor than a Bud Light or Coors Light, but it's still a light beer. I think this is a good beer. This is a good choice.
It's definitely a good beer. I think.
It's their birthday beer. How long it's going to be around? Yeah. How much? Something you may have to Google and see if you can find it. So I'm sure it's a little more rare, but maybe not.
It's definitely something that I would go out and get a 6-pack of. If you're looking for something new to try, you're at the store, go get a 6er and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Or if now all those grocery stores, it's kind of cool.
And like I said, the ABV is pretty low on it. It's at 4.6, so it's not that bad.
Yeah, I was gonna say the cool thing of the grocery stores now, they all do make your own 6-pack. You can find one of those. You just grab 2 of those. I definitely throw 2 in your fridge and try them.
Yeah, might as well.
Definitely.
All right, I'm moving on to our next. So I gave it 1.5. You gave it 1.25. So we're what, 2 and 3/4 there?
2 3/4 out of 4.
Out of 4. So that's not too bad. No. The next one is we're doing
porter.
A vanilla porter.
Breckenridge Brewing of fine Colorado ales.
Now, so y'all know, I'm more of a stout porter type drinker anyway. This is my go-tos. I'm not really a big one into the fruits and vanillas and all this, but I thought this one. A lot of people like chocolate and vanilla and stuff that in their dark beers or porter beers. You know,
roasted
coffee,
malts
of course,
with
is
notes
popular.
Of vanilla, 5.4.
You know, I find a lot of time I was saying this with the dark beers is, you know, coffee is a big thing to put in beer. You always see the coffee notes in there, chocolate or coffee notes. What I find with a lot of the brewers, the small breweries that brew the stouts and the porters that do it with coffee, they put too damn much coffee in it. You don't need that much coffee. I'm drinking beer, not coffee. And some of this stuff is so strong in coffee, it tastes like you're drinking burnt coffee. You know, I can say that because I drink a lot of porters and stouts. That's my favorite beers.
So Starbucks coffee.
Starbucks coffee's burnt anyway, so I'm not a Starbucks fan.
First try?
First try. I had to do it that time. Pop that baby, got a little bit on me.
Yeah, whenever.
Chunked it on the last one. I had to get that. I had to get my manhood back. Oh, now you're not going to do it. Ha-ha. What's that, 2 times?
That's one.
Dude, you're supposed to spilled it all over himself. Chunked it. Oh, you should see this. He's got beer all over him now. Dude, that is funny as hell, man. Look like you pissed your pants.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shook that baby off all over your pants is what you did.
There we go.
Oh, yeah, some paper towels for you.
I know.
That is hilarious, man.
You know, it's funny. It doesn't feel that bad because I have a baby at home, so...
I can't really say much because I did get a little bit on me, but you, like, really chunked it, dude. You're a mess.
Yeah, my white shirt got stained.
It's okay. Baby will throw up on you when you get home anyway, so it really don't matter.
That's funny. Once you have a kid, you're just like...
Stuff don't bother you as much.
At first, I was like, oh, I gotta get a towel. I gotta clean out the spit up and everything. And my wife's like, this is my life all the time. And then I spent one weekend... like
cleaning
actually figure it, and I was like, now it's like you get home, it's just like, yeah, it's like she spits up, and you're just like using your shirt to clean it up. You're like, yeah, whatever, I don't care.
I went up there and saw my daughter, and you know, she's cheers, and she's doing in 2 months. Their life is going to change.
Ooh,
okay, the vanilla is strong. You can definitely taste the vanilla, especially in the aftertaste of it.
Yeah. It's not as strong as I thought it would be. I thought the vanilla would be stronger.
You know, we didn't really talk. Okay, this is from Breckenridge Brewery. Do we let everybody know that Breckenridge Brewery? Let's see, fine Colorado ales from Colorado, roasted malts with notes of vanilla.
They didn't put a note or anything on it, unfortunately.
ABV is 5.4, so that's about right for a porter. Some of them are a little bit higher. At least I didn't try to make it too high. Just
right.
It's a little sweet. It's definitely got a sweet taste to it.
That's the vanilla.
Yeah, the vanilla is definitely giving it a sweet taste. It almost tastes like a chocolate in there, too. Let's see, roasted malts with notes of... I don't know. It could be just the porter itself mixing with it.
I think it's just the porter.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely not bad.
No.
So
strong vanilla up front, porter in the back.
See, I'm tasting the opposite. I'm getting the porter up front, and then the aftertaste is leaving a strong vanilla. Yeah.
See, my aftertaste is the porter. It's not the vanilla.
Because usually it's the scent that picks that up, and my scent's picking up the vanilla.
Huh.
So kind of like a fine wine, you know.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I just drink wine. I don't critique it.
Look at the legs on that baby.
If you can see it.
Got to twirl it like wine.
Yeah.
Sitting. Gotta. That's just bad to do with beer, dude. You ever swish beer?
No.
It turns into foam in your mouth.
Yo, why? Like, it never has that ever crossed my mind. I was like, what are you doing?
Let's do some wine tasting. Beer tasting. What do you think?
Whatever.
Walk into the next brewery and do that. Watch everybody look at you like,
whatever.
What a freak, man.
Whatever floats your boat, man.
Especially the hipsters in there when you start doing... Hipsters do that shit.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, this is good beer, man.
Yeah.
You know, it was funny. So I'm in Germany, and I'm walking down the street, and there's actually an advertisement for this brewery. It was a brewery, a little tiny brewery. The Hipster Brewery. And these dudes all look like they were from like Portland or something. On all their billboards, these ads, I'm going, Did Portland like move to Berlin or something? What the hell?
Was it called the Hipster Brewery?
Yeah, it was the hipster brewery.
And all the hipsters were there.
I didn't go in it. I just saw their advertisement all over the place. You know, they had like the billboards up there. Dude, the hipster brewery, and it actually had like man buns, dudes with man buns, and the beanies. I just laughed my ass off when I saw that. I'm like, what the hell are hipsters doing in Berlin?
I feel like that was a marketing play for American tourists.
I don't know. Because there are hipsters there. Because my buddy there was telling me that they do have kind of a hipster scene going on there right now.
Yeah.
So I think it was to attract them. But it's just, you're talking about mimicking.
Yeah.
It's here a bunch of German guys trying to mimic a bunch of dudes out of Portland. You know?
No, it makes sense.
It was, to me, I just found it hilarious. I'm like, hipsters, you got to be freaking kidding me. What the hell are hipsters doing here?
Everybody copies everybody.
They do. It's gotten out of hand.
Yeah.
You know? So
but that's life.
Did you see that other video I sent you to, which I thought was interesting?
Oh, yeah.
About the guy, the judging. Christians judging him because he has a tattoo.
Yeah.
And I thought that was interesting because I know you're tatted. I got several tats.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how many Christians have come up to me and say, you're not supposed to have tattoos. You know, like, who? Really? I'm not supposed to have tattoos?
You know what the most surprising thing about that video was that you sent me?
What's that?
Wasn't the judging aspect, because I've had that happen one too many times. I just don't care.
Yeah.
His knowledge of Scripture.
He said right in the beginning, he goes, I'm a Christian and I read my Bible.
But here's the thing. Like, you typically, when I get stuff sent like that to me on YouTube and like people send links, it's usually someone crying wolf.
Yeah.
Or crying, you know, it's like, you don't even know what you're talking about.
Like crying hypocrisy or some bullshit. Yeah.
This guy actually knew his Bible.
He did.
I was like, I'm sitting there listening to his rebuttal and I'm like, well, you are a very well-read Christian. Like, you've actually opened up your Bible. You've actually read it. You know what's in there. You've obviously listened to some form of pastor or some form of teaching to kind of guide your thinking. So you know what you're talking about. You're not just rambling.
But his article that he does too has nothing to do with Christianity. One iota. He just happens to know it and be one.
Well, no, and you could tell the video is more just like trying to back off that, like we talked about tonight, the hypocrisy aspect of you have so many believers who, you know, they walk around with, they're pretentious. They're just this,
think they're better than everybody else. They're off your damn pedestal.
There was a meme on one of the Facebook pages I follow that said, how do you know you've walked into an authentic Baptist church? No one wants to sit in the first few rows.
No.
But it's funny, right? Like, because Scripture says, you know, you don't want to sit in the highest places, so everyone always sits in the back.
Yeah.
But I feel like all these people, like these pretentious people who are judgment, they're all the people in the front. Like, this is a joke. There I am prefacing again. You ever want to find all the fake Christians in church? Just go to the first 5 rows.
How many of you sit in the front row?
I'm talking to you.
Picking on you. Me sitting behind you, I got tattoos. I'm the guy throwing shit at you. You ever feel that shit hit you in the back of the head while you're in there going,
yes.
You look at the guy behind you.
He brings a straw and spit wads.
Yeah.
I just write notes and pass them.
That's me about 10 rows back. My wife hitting me going, stop that shit.
No, it was a good video, though. It was very well done. Like, him explaining, like, he didn't... It was very much what we do here. Like, not ripping necessarily the people, but just the bad seeds that are in there.
There's tons of them. There's so many people. You know, it's a... You know, I don't know if I've ever shared this here, but I did share it tonight. It was the time I was at Burning Man yesterday. Yeah. You go to Burning Man. And I'm sitting in a gay bar at Burning Man. And this guy's sitting there next to me.
Heretic.
I'm a heretic, man. I went to a gay bar.
We need to burn you.
Yeah, I know. So me and my wife are sitting there. I'll say that. Me and my wife are sitting in the gay bar. Doesn't matter whether she was there or not. We're both sitting there, right? So this guy looks at me, and I have a tattoo of a fish.
Do you have a polygamous relationship or just an open relationship?
Neither.
Oh. Sorry, just want to clear the air real quick.
Neither. So I'm sitting there, and this guy looks and sees my tattoo. I have the fish on my arm. And he goes, so you're a Christian? And I'm like, why, yes, I am. And he goes, yeah, I hate God. Wow, is that the wind blowing outside?
Can we hear that?
Yeah, apparently we got a torrential windstorm going on outside. So we have, you guys, I don't know if you can hear it in the mic. Maybe you can.
Yeah, I can hear it in the headphones.
I'm hearing it in the headphones, hear it. Probably. So this guy says, he goes, I hate God. And I just looked at him. I said, well, that's okay. At least you believe in him then. And he was kind of floored. He didn't know what to say. So I said, I followed up with a question after a moment. I said, so tell me why you hate him. And he goes, well, every time I went to the church or tried to go to church, I would get hated on by people because he's a gay man. And I said, well, it's not God you hate then. It's the people in the church. It's those assholes in the church that you hate, actually, right? And he's like, well, yeah, I guess it is. I said, so where are you from? He said, San Francisco. I said, well, do you think in San Francisco that there is a church that would accept you for who you are? And he's like, probably. And I said, well, then you have homework when you get home. Go find one.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not God that you hate. You hate those assholes in the church. And there are plenty of them.
And that's the big thing. Like, I don't know what the systemic problem inside the church is, because there are a ton of people who show up who don't have any fruit, right? Like Christ said, you will know them by their fruits. A dead tree won't produce good. No, what's the scripture? The one about the tree not producing ripe fruit, like good
the
fruit.
fig tree.
The fig tree.
Yeah, the fig tree. When it goes up and he touches it, and it dies.
It dies
because it was producing bad fruit.
Correct. I feel like as Christians in our respective communities, whatever church it is, because everyone goes to a different small church, and everyone, big church, mega church, small denominator, whatever, everyone's part of a different community. We've lost the ability to judge our fellow brothers and sisters.
It comes down to what we talked about on Facebook. It's that criticism thing where they can't take it, and I'm right, you're wrong, and I'm going to prove you until I die that you're wrong.
Right. Like,
it's bullshit.
It's definitely a complex issue of, like, where's the problem in the church, but I almost feel like
it's an ego issue.
No, I get it, but at the same time, like, we've lost it because I think that's multifaceted on the problems with the church, right? Like, there's the teaching, there's the doctrine, there's the liberal side, the conservative side. Like, there's all those issues. There's the idea of telling people if they raise their hand, they're saved forever. You know, there's the idea of that versus discipleship.
Bullshit! Now you know my opinion of that.
You know, there's the idea, if you're baptized, you're saved. If you raise your hand, you're saved. If you've gone forward,
bullshit!
But at the end of the day, where's the discipleship?
Where's the fruit?
Where's the discipleship? Where's the fruit? Like, and I'm not saying you have to have works, but
even the demons believe.
Your faith will produce works. And I'm not saying your works save you in any way, shape, or form. Do I think your works save you? I don't. But I do honestly believe if you are saved, you will have fruit. Yes. And if you don't have fruit, and it's so much like we've taken that judge verse.
It's Francis Chan when he stood up in front of his congregation.
Oh, and told them they were all going to hell?
Yeah. So many of you. He didn't say all. Yeah. Many of you in here are going to hell. And he said that because of that. Yeah. That these are the people that, and we've talked about this, these are the people that will go to church, do their Sunday punch card. You know, they go to church. I'm good because I go to church. I punched in. I punched out.
Wealthy people.
Some of them are. Yeah. And then as they're walking across the parking lot, they flip the guy off because some guy cut him off or did whatever. They're flipping them off right in the church parking lot. I mean, this happens. I've seen it. And it's like, dude, really? You just came out of that building, man. What the hell's wrong with you?
Yeah, and we've almost created a culture of, like, if you raise your hand, you're saved. If you're baptized, you're saved. If you do this. Like, it's not a works-based faith.
I feel a sneeze coming.
You got another sneeze?
Bullshit!
But, we've sold this idea as believers to people that all you have to do is X, Y, Z. We've turned it into a works-based faith.
Yeah. But isn't that almost works-based? You raise your hand, you do the work to raise your hand, you do this, and now you're saved.
But the difference between a Christianity works-based faith versus every other faith, like we talked about tonight, what's the difference? The difference between Christianity and all other faiths is grace.
Yeah.
Right? But the problem now is we've added a preface to that. You get grace with one work.
Just raising your hand.
Right. If you raise your hand or if you get baptized or you do want to, or raise your hand and then get baptized and then you're saved.
Or if you're Baptist and you don't dance.
Don't drink.
Don't drink. Don't dance.
Yeah, don't do any of those. Leave enough when you dance. Leave enough room for Jesus.
That's it, man.
Yeah. So, but at the end of the day, I'm like, we've created this culture inside the church where it's like, don't judge, right?
Silent disco. So see, can you tell I'm doing silent disco right now? I got music on here.
I can tell. I'm glad I don't.
You ever watch that silent disco?
No.
It's funny as hell, dude.
You're gonna have to send it to me.
I'm down at the Link one time. They were actually doing a silent disco party outside, because you can do these outside because there's no DJ, right? So they have all these people on this dance floor right at the Link with headphones on, a bunch of big ass headphones like these, and they're all out there dancing with each other and jamming and stuff. And I guess you can go up and like pick what type of music you want to listen to. So they all have their own music going, and they're all out there dancing and jamming to music in their headphones while everybody's watching. It's funny as hell to sit and watch. It really is.
Speaking of which, because you said Link, I'm going to change subjects off the church for a minute. Travis Pastrana cleared the fountain.
Silent disco. Yeah, I saw that.
Did you watch the video?
I didn't see the video yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't see the video. We were at the airport last night heading back, and it was funny too because I'm on. They were talking about it on the History Channel.
History Channel is the one that did it live.
Okay, they were advertising whatever channel I was watching. They were advertising the History Channel that it was going to be on live at 5 o'clock, and the advertisement was at 6:30.
Because the actual jump wasn't until 8.
But they're doing the advertisement at 6:30. It's on at 5.
They did run
okay, that's kind of stupid.
The jump did go late.
I thought he was doing 3 jumps.
He did 3 jumps. So 2 of them were behind Planet Hollywood in that back lot.
Yeah,
that dirt
that's
lot.
right.
So that was
the buses. He did the buses.
And then the crushed cars.
He added one more bus.
14 to 16.
Okay.
So he added 2, and then 50 to 54. He added some more cars.
Yeah, it's more because he wanted to beat that record.
Right. Okay. So they did both. They did the cars. And then they were supposed to do the fountain jump right before 8 o'clock because it was live television.
Okay. Nothing ever happens on time, dude.
Well,
Come on.
It's not that. Nobody took into consideration how long it was going to take to get Travis Pastrana from the back lot of Planet Hollywood to the fountains.
Yeah, you're on the strip, man. That doesn't go fast. I mean, that's not a quick move.
So I was following it online, and everyone's like, "We're running late. We're running late. We can't."
Son of a bitch. That's why I had so many people. When I got off the airplane, we got there. We got off at 9:30.
Yeah, just
from the airport. I'm trying to drive across town, and we're running down Swanson,
the back lot.
The back lot. We're running down by first off at Thomas and Mack.
Oh, you have NBA summer leagues in town too, so the basketball games would have been getting out
holy
as
shit!
well.
So everything was going on. So
correct.
So Thomas and Mack, we had tons of people coming out, and then of course I had this idiot lady. I'm in the third lane. She wants to make a right hand turn from the third lane. It's like, go home, go back to California, like your plate says. You don't know what the hell you're doing. You can't make a right hand turn from the third lane in California either, lady. What the hell's wrong with you? So anyway, yes, I did get mad at her. That's the way it goes. Too bad.
Judging.
No, she's from California. I'm gonna judge the hell out of you. From California.
Judging.
Yes.
You're from California.
I don't care. I moved. I am no longer there. I am a vegan now.
Oh, a vegan.
I'm a vegan now.
Is that what we're calling it now?
You didn't know that? The people from Vegan or Vegas, they call themselves like vegans now? Have you ever seen that on the back of a plate? The people that are born and raised here like call themselves that. I'm a Las Vegan. So they just call themselves vegans now.
God bless us.
Yeah, they're vegans.
We need.
They're not really vegans as far as the food intake, but they're vegans.
Yeah.
You had no idea. You didn't know that, huh?
I never heard that.
I learned
a little
that,
ridiculous.
No, I learned that about 8 years ago from a vegan that had that on her license plate. And I asked her, oh, so you're a vegan, right? She goes, well, yeah. And I'm like, okay, great. I'm thinking it's food.
Right.
She's like, yeah, I'm from here. And I'm like, the fuck does that have to do with food? Just because you're from here? She goes, no, I'm a vegan. I was born and raised here. And I'm like, wait, that's a vegan? She goes, yeah. Oh, okay. Learn something new every day, I guess. But I've heard that terminology used from other people that are from here, too.
So back to Travis Pastrana real quick. I thought, I was under the impression.
This kind of grows on you.
Does it?
It does. It kind of grows on you.
I was under the impression he was going to go long ways over the fountains.
You know what this would be good with?
What?
Ice cream.
Yes, I will say that.
I bet if you poured this shit over ice cream.
Made a vanilla porter milkshake?
Yeah, I bet you that would be good.
Yeah, I went out that. So, and by all means, I'm not talking trash on Travis Pastrana. The man did a double backflip on a motorbike. He's phenomenal. He's absolutely.
He knows what he's doing.
He's insane, and he'll admit that. But
does crap on a bike? I'm never gonna do.
Yeah, no. But when I saw
Jeff,
that,
to go do that backflip.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
1, let alone 2.
Yeah.
But when I saw the fountain jump, I always was under the impression, because every time I've gone to Caesars, I've always looked at the fountains, and I've like, how the hell did he do this? Because I'm thinking long ways. I'm thinking over all 3, right? Like from the valet entrance into the street. So I'm sitting here thinking, what did Caesar's Palace look like 50 years ago when he did this? Then when they set it up yesterday, I'm looking at the runway as I'm watching the video. I'm like, why is he over by Serenity? Because Serenity, if you guys don't know Caesar's Palace layout, that's what I'm kind of describing. He's over by Serenity, and I'm like, why the hell is he over by Serenity? And then he starts landing. I'm like, he's going sideways? He's just going over 1? Mm-hmm. And so then I got stopped.
So I did, yeah.
And so then I was like, there's no way Evil only went over 1. He almost died. Like, what is it? What is this just 1 nonsense? So I look up the video. And I was like,
what he did. Yeah.
He barely made it over the one. And I was like,
but you got to look at the bike he was on 50 years ago.
Granted, it was a lot heavier. It was bigger. It's not a bike.
Heavier. The engine technology that was out there didn't have the pickup that they do now.
No. I get all of that. I get all of that. But I'm just thinking today, like I'm looking at this like big deal, and I'm like, this is why no one else has ever attempted it, because nowadays, what you're doing on the fountain is a typical jump in any any motocross race.
Yeah.
Like you look at the typical motocross race at any level. And it's typical size of a jump that you would normally hit, like almost anywhere in the course. And I was looking, and I was like, oh. Like, and it kind of sucks. Like, I don't want to take anything away from Evel Knievel or what Travis did, because it's kind of cool.
It's the technology of the bikes. I mean, I remember my first bike. My first bike was a Yamaha 90 HT1, 1971 build. That was my first motorcycle ever, and I got that in 1975 or so.
Oh, wow.
So my dad gave me this motorcycle. I took it out. I blew the motor up, like first run out. Just granted it into the motor. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. No, I take that back. That was my second bike. My first bike was a YZ80, Yamaha YZ80. That bike I blew up. Didn't know what the hell I was doing. I blew it up. My dad took me out to a place in California, blew it up at the racetrack. So I got the HT190, started riding it, a little bit bigger bike, but it's like one of those old bikes like you see in these movies where they're driving them around, in Vietnam or something.
Oh,
where
okay.
It's got the straight seat and the metal gas tank. And this is a dirt bike now, mind you. Metal gas tank, that flat, straight seat. And I'm driving that thing. An HT190 was actually an Enduro, and I had an Enduro that was converted only for dirt.
Okay.
And I rode that thing. I raced it. I did everything. And then eventually fixed the YZ80. Later on, dude, I had a Harley Davidson dirt bike. Bought it, rode it a couple times. Motor blew up on that one too, because they're just a piece of crap. But I was going through a museum and saw one in a museum. Apparently they're worth $bucks.
Probably.
I bought it for $10 at a yard sale.
Yeah, and now it's probably worth thousands.
Yeah, blew the thing up, took it to a junkyard.
Yeah.
Took my 90 to a junkyard.
Listen, if we all could go back 20, 30 years and collect stuff, we'd all be able.
Some of the stuff we had back then.
Yeah.
My first car was a 1971 Volkswagen Bus.
Yeah.
Loved that thing, man. Loved it. Sold it for, I don't know, hardly anything, a few $100.
Yeah, now it's
worth like tens of thousands of dollars now.
In really good condition. If it's fixer up, it's not worth as much.
Yeah, but it doesn't take much to fix them. I mean, they're so cheap. It doesn't take a whole lot. I saw one at a beach festival. Oh my gosh, maybe 6 or 7 years ago. And 71 Volkswagen Bus. This guy had one cherried out, just like the one I used to have. And I sat there and I went up and asked him. I said, hey, I used to have one like this. It's great. We're sitting and talked about it. And I said, I have to ask. It's going to kind of piss me off, but how much is that thing worth? He goes, well, I had it appraised and I have it insured for the same amount. I'm like, okay, well, that's probably a good idea. And I said, what is it? And he goes, they valued it at 80. I said, 80 what? Because I hate to hear this. And he goes, 80,000. I'm like, bullshit. And he's like, no, really? No. And that was fixed up and everything else, of course, cherried out. But that's what he had it valued at. Now, whether you'd really get it for that, heck, if you got 30, my God, my dad bought that for me for $300. Yeah. It's amazing what this crap's worth nowadays.
But also, what was $300 when he bought it worth in today's dollars?
Wasn't worth $30,000.
Granted, that's a very true statement.
$80,000, as this guy had his insured for.
But
I bought a $10 Harley Davidson motorcycle. It's probably worth thousands now. I took it to a junkyard and junked it. And you look back and it's like, oh, that was pretty stupid. But where would I have kept it?
Yeah.
I mean, I had a 1968 Squareback that I junked too.
Those Squarebacks are worth
$bucks. I had a 68 Squareback. I have no idea. As you can tell, I used to like Volkswagens. Yeah. I used to have a Baja Bug. I had a 67, 68 Baja Bug. I had one of those. That was a blast to drive. Baja Bugs are great.
Yeah.
Imagine what that shit's worth nowadays.
Yeah, but it comes down to storage and cost and the amount of money.
Nostalgia. Because I'm only 25 years old.
Yeah, I know. But you also think about a lot of that stuff, right? Like, how much money would you have put into it over the past 30 years to maintain it, to keep it up, to do that, to store the damn thing? Would you really make that money back, or is a lot of that built-in cost where at the end of 30 years you're looking back and you're like, okay, I've dropped 40 grand into this thing over the past 30 years, because it's only a little over $1,000 a year, which is real easy to drop into a car, especially when you got to fix up. So you figure you drop $1,000 a year for 30 years. Now you just drop 30 grand into it. So now that's
now I just drive a Jeep where it's just empty or just empty every pocket. Yeah,
yeah, that's a gas guzzler if I ever saw one.
Yeah, in fact, I had a spark plug wire go bad on mine today.
Oh,
and going home had to replace the plug wire on it.
Yeah, no, I'm learning very, very fast with my Jeep that it's just empty every.
They're great cars. Love to drive it. They're a blast to drive. Go anywhere. But yeah, they cost a lot of money.
Yeah, they do.
Don't buy a Jeep unless you're ready to have spare money. My Mercedes was that way. I used to have years ago. So we called it. My wife and I nicknamed it the $300 a month store, or $300 a month vehicle. And that wasn't the payment. That was just the maintenance and the work you had to do on it every single month. Ran about $300 a month.
Oh my gosh,
it was ridiculous. It was like, okay, I'm done with this. Get rid of this. Yeah, they don't tell you that when you buy them. It'll cost you an extra $300 a month just to maintain it and fix the crap that breaks. Yeah. Forget it.
Yeah.
So how you doing on your beer, dude?
Doing well. I'm keeping up with you. So.
Kind of.
Cheap shot. Now you like that? Now you're just being a dick.
Sometimes.
Hey.
No, I didn't have that much left, dude. I only had like spit in the bottom.
I was gonna say, at least somebody's been in the glorious House of Canes getting jacked, tan, and juicy as fuck.
Yeah, I'll be there. I've kind of had this head cold going.
Shout out to Robert Frank. I was gonna say shout out to Robert Frank.
Yeah,
getting jacked, tan, and juicy.
That's where that came from.
The glorious House of Canes.
Yeah. So what's tomorrow? Chest Day? I think every day's Chest Day.
No. Mondays is the International Day of.
Monday's International Chest Day. What's tomorrow?
I have no idea, because he only does videos once a week, and I haven't watched all of them yet.
It's the International Chest Day today. I think every day's International.
Yeah, I think every day is international for him.
International Chest Day today.
But as Robert, because we are Bible readers, but
we're beer drinkers with a Bible fetish.
As Robert would say, how do you know it's not God's will for you to be jacked, tan, and juicy as fuck? Because it could be God's will.
This is awesome. Jack, tan, and juicy. Isn't that awesome?
I'm so glad he doesn't say it that way. If he said it like that, I don't know if I could take him seriously. It's already hard enough to take him seriously.
Yeah.
It's already. He's
get in the gym! Work out
now! He's like, you know what he's the quintessential.
Everybody just went, holy shit! They turned their speakers.
I know. He's the quintessential 1980s WWF wrestling promo.
He is kind of, yeah. That's it. Yeah,
because it's like 2 minutes.
Everybody's gonna have to look him up now. They're going, who the fuck is this guy, Robert Frank? You know.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So, although, you know what I caught yesterday? So, not yesterday, on Saturday. So, the fights were on. Mm-hmm. And Daniel Cormier comes out, and he stops at the entrance.
Was he jacked, tan, and juicy?
He's not.
He's not.
He
was kind of chubby when I saw him in the pre-fight weigh-ins.
He 246, man. He walked in at 246.
He looked kind of fat. He had a little flab on him going.
He looks like a Ninja Turtle. That's what I think of him as.
Yeah.
He's like a Ninja Turtle. Especially because the dude just like, he takes a punch. So it's like, damn, son, you are a Ninja Turtle. Yeah. Granted, Jones knocked him out or knocked him down, so that kind of sucked because he did get that. But
Jones was jacked.
Yeah.
Just not tan and juicy.
Jones lost the money fight to Brock Lesnar, though.
Yeah.
DC just sticking it to Jones. He's taking the money fight now. He got lucky and knocked out Stipe, but
yeah.
Man, no.
Brock's supposed to come back. Who is he fighting? He's going to fight
DC.
Oh, that's okay. That's
Daniel.
Because they were talking afterwards,
so
right?
Daniel won.
Yeah.
Well, real quick, so Daniel runs to the ring, and I was like, oh my gosh, he stole that from the Ultimate Warrior. Then I found out afterwards, a couple of commentators were talking. DC's a huge WWE fan. He has been since he was a kid. So he does steal that from the Ultimate Warrior, because Ultimate Warrior is to run out to the ring.
Welcome to UFC talk.
I know, right? So he stole that, but then because he is a WWE fan, right? He wins the match, and he's basking in it. But then he grabs it. He's like, "Joe, I'm going to steal this mic from you." He grabs it. He's like, "Brock Lesnar, get your butt in here!" And it was straight Nobody at UFC will ever admit that any of this was scripted. Nobody will. That shit was scripted.
Oh,
totally.
Come on, yeah.
They brought Brock out right before the heavyweight fight, so he was in the arena. I don't think if Daniel lost that Brock would have fought Stipe. I think Stipe had too much. I think he would have fought another heavyweight, somebody else. But Daniel, he's 39, Brock's 41. As I found out that there was an ex-fighter on USADA that nobody knew who it was Brock. Brock, I found out a couple weeks ago talking to my friend in WWE, they pulled Brock from all WWE cards for the rest of the year about 2 months ago.
Okay. Was he still doing WWE?
That's what he's been doing. He's part-time. He's actually the Universal Champion. Like, he has a belt, but he wrestles part-time. But
I didn't realize he was still doing WWE.
He's a huge draw. He draws millions of pay-per-views, so that's why they do it, because everybody wants to watch him. But they pulled him from all the cards. Like the champion always wrestles at SummerSlam. They pulled him. They didn't book him.
No, is he doing this because of UFC or what they do?
So he had to jump back into USADA. So when you jump into USADA, there's that crap that they take for their muscles and whatnot. It's a steroid, but it's not for strength. It's for looks. That's what he got popped for with Mock Hunt, I believe. You can correct me if I'm wrong. By all means, you can. But he had to get off all the crap he was taking for WWE.
Dude, that gray hair is like fucking annoying the shit out of me, dude. Really,
stop staring at it.
You gotta fucking cut that shit, man.
Stop
it.
It's
like one of those things.
Listen,
you know when somebody has like a pimple on their nose or something?
Yeah,
you're
it's
like,
annoying. You know what?
Yeah.
More gray will come in and it'll just blend in.
Gray blending in's fine, but that one that's like 3 inches long right here,
no,
dude,
I'm gonna let it keep going. Now that it annoys you, I'm gonna let that.
Dude, that thing is like
that shit just
go.
Like
out here.
I'm gonna have it like a buck tooth. I'm just gonna let it grow. I'm just gonna let it grow. But no, so I don't even, so Brock was
forgot
pulled.
what you're gonna say, didn't you?
No, Brock was pulled.
Okay.
Brought him back, but he had to jump into USADA because he had to start drug testing. But I don't remember when his suspension is up. But I'm assuming they'll fight New Year's Eve. So
that's a ways out. Yeah.
Well, because I mean, you figure you got a training camp in July. You know, twice a year, right?
Oh, fucking fight next week. What the hell's wrong with you?
Well, because Brock's on suspension, so they have to wait for that to get lifted.
Okay.
Because he's still on that suspension from the Mark Hunt from popping. But he's back in USADA. He's testing. He's training. So, but 41 versus 39. Brock's 285, cuts down to 265. Daniel walks around at 246 without cutting.
Yeah, Daniel's a smaller guy.
But so here's the thing: Daniel used to fight heavyweight. What was the other? He was in a different league.
Yeah, but Daniel's a wrestler too. I mean, he's always been a wrestler.
Both of them
are Brock. So
right,
that'd be the interesting part of it. Yeah.
Because so Daniel had to learn stand up to fight Jones.
Yeah.
Because Jones would never take him to the ground. He was so big. Daniel could never. There was no way Daniel would ever get Jones to the ground. Jones just didn't want to take him.
Yeah.
So he had to learn stand up to fight Jones. Brock had to learn stand up to fight heavyweights. Now you're taking two
wrestlers,
two collegiate star wrestlers.
You know what though? They've done this before in the past with Matt Hughes and I forget
Matt
who it was.
Serra.
Maybe it was Matt Hughes and somebody where they literally stood up the entire time because it's almost like they knew that each other had wrestling ability, and it's
they
like
didn't want to get down.
It's like fuck it, I'm not doing that. I'm not taking this guy down because if I do something wrong, I'm done. So I'll just stand up and sit here and punch a little bit, and that's what they both did. So I'm kind of wondering if that's what's going to happen with these two.
But we're talking about a 40-pound weight difference between Brock and Daniel. I don't know if Daniel wants to get in a sparring match with Brock.
Yeah, that dude hit you. Could you imagine a guy at 285 punching you?
Well, think about it this way: John Jones knocked Daniel out. Remember, because Daniel did get knocked out by Jones. Jones was only 205. And so Jones, I mean, obviously with
Jones juices.
He's
just not. Yeah.
Either way, what you put his punch up to 225, 230.
Yeah.
Okay, with the power that Jones would have had, because he was still doing coke. So
yeah, but you had that coke.
Allegedly,
you had that coke and roids in there, man. You punch like freaking anything.
You're not Brock Lesnar at 285.
Can you imagine Brock hitting you with coke and roids? Freaking literally knock your ass in.
Wake up next week.
Heads off over there. Picking your head up over there, dude.
You know, if Brock, I always think about it. I'm a homer for WWE, but if Brock never had that intestine problem, how could
oh my god, can you imagine where he'd be?
If his intestines never gave out,
yeah,
because when Kane smacked him in the stomach, that's what exposed the intestinal disease.
Yeah,
remember, because he hit him in the stomach and he collapsed.
Yeah,
And then he went and fought.
But that was good too. I mean, when you look at it, the overall scheme of things, it was good for him
for his
because
health,
he didn't know.
Right.
It was good for his health.
But then he gets in to fight Alistair Overeem. Alistair hit him gut. Alistair was juicing because he got fined for that because Alistair was popped on that one. But Brock went down. Come to find out, the disease didn't go away, and he lost more of his intestines. Yeah. So Alistair exposed the problem.
Yeah, he's lost a shitload of intestine.
He's lost almost 3/4 of his intestines from that. So, but
imagine eating. It's like you drank this beer, you eat some. It's like, okay, I gotta go take a shit now.
And
it's like 5 minutes later, I gotta take a shit.
But think about how big he is and the shape
he's still doing it. Yeah,
he's still that monster of
I mean, think about if you're not even having all those intestines for your digestion to happen, and you're still imagine the amount of food the dude's got to eat though.
Right. No, and I get it. And just to know Brock's endurance, a few years ago, John Cena got his revenge match against him, so they did a no holds bar thing. And I get it. Wrestling's fake. It's a scripted show. Now, if you go back and you understand the history of John Cena and Brock Lesnar, Brock screwed John when he left. When he originally left and had dropped the belt to Brock, there's scenes of like John having to go and fight Brock, and it's straight fake. Like John's coming in for a punch, and as he's getting like this close, Brock just falls down. Like he embarrassed John.
Could you imagine John Jones fighting Brock Lesnar?
No, Brock would just hit him in the head and Jones would fall.
That'd be funny as hell, dude.
Like Daniel, I think will actually be entertained because they're both like really good wrestlers.
Yeah.
Like I think
that's just it. If they actually go to the ground,
that's
what I'm going to be rooting for. Go to the ground, man. I want to see him go to the ground. So, I just don't want to see him stand.
Go watch. You can find it on YouTube. The Iron Man match between Kurt Angle and Brock Lesnar. This was from like the late '90s, early 2000s. It was the two of them wrestling because remember, Kurt Angle won the 2 gold medals, and then Brock came in as the NCAA champion. So they did an Iron Man match. They do some WWE antics, but a lot because they had to wrestle for an hour. A lot of that hour, they're actually wrestling. Like, the two of them are wrestling, and it's actually kind of cool because Kurt's a smaller guy than Brock, but you're watching it, and you're like, wow, like, little man's taking big boy.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's all skill-based at that point from what you've explained to me because I'm not a wrestler, but you are.
Yeah.
And it was like, it's actually kind of entertaining. Like, from a wrestling, like, talking to people who are wrestlers, they actually enjoyed the match because
I enjoy stuff like that.
There was a lot of wrestling in it. There's a lot of W antics, obviously, because it's entertaining. It's an hour-long show. Or an hour-long match that they had to fill, but there's a lot of wrestling in it. So I'm like, okay, so if Kurt Angle, who's smaller than Brock, can wrestle with Brock and hang with him, Daniel's bigger than Kurt. Daniel could actually take him. I mean, Brock's a beast of a human being, but I think it could be an entertaining fight. Like,
here's what it comes down to: when you're that big too, it comes down to a lot of it's speed as being a wrestler. Because when I've wrestled little guys, you can't match their speed as a big guy. If you can get a hold of them. You just kind of hold them because there's nothing they can do when you get a hold of them because you have the strength and the weight. But when they have speed on you, all of a sudden you're like, what the fuck just happened? You know, it's like a fly circling your head. You know.
But that's what's always made Brock good is he's quick. I mean, for a guy who's 285,
he is quick, but he's still not going to be as quick as a little guy. You never are.
No, but we're talking about DC here.
Yeah.
I mean, John Jones would have been quicker than him because John's is smaller. John's is tall.
Yeah,
and lanky.
DC though. I mean, like you said in the last fight, I hope he trims or at least does something. Man, the dude's just gotten fat.
No, that's so. Wherever
he's like what's that one? The dude that our buddy likes the big
country.
Big country.
I love big country.
Big country's he's amusing. Everybody loves him because he's freaking amusing. He's like this freaking big. I mean, it's like the dude is just huge.
Yeah, but the dude could run a marathon.
And then he goes and gets Carl's Jr. hamburgers when he's done.
Listen, he loves the bacon western cheeseburger.
I know. He probably buys 10. I mean, he probably eats 10 of those in one sitting.
Have you seen him lately? He's actually slimmed down a lot.
Has he really? No, I haven't seen him lately. But I mean,
a lot of the reason he kept the gut is because it pissed off Dana.
Well, I understand that, but dude, really, come on, lose the gut.
I know he should.
Imagine what he's a good fighter, and that's just it. He is a good fighter, and he's got endurance. Could you imagine what Big Country could do if he lost the weight and started dropping into lower weight classes?
Well, he'd have to drop. He'd have to probably get to 185.
Yeah. The dude, but the endurance he has and the skill level he has at a lower weight class, if he can handle the higher weights and he does well, imagine what he can do at a lower weight.
At his prime, he had that knockout power too. Yeah. At the heavyweight division.
At a heavyweight division. Imagine that power at a lower weight division.
185, 205.
He'd be Brock all juiced up. Done.
Yeah, but big country's big country.
Yeah, that's true.
He's
got a beard like yours now, too.
I know. Did you hear Tito's going to fight Chuck Liddell again?
Are you serious?
They said Chuck's 50. Chuck's your age. Or your age range. He's about there.
Do you know why they call me Iceman, right?
What?
Selling drugs. That's how he got his name.
Chuck?
Chuck. He got his name from selling drugs. He was Iceman.
Really?
Huh? It's exactly what he used to do. He used to sell drugs for a
The
living.
fact that he's fighting Tito again and they're both in their 50s, I'm just kind of
that's just getting out of hand.
But at the same time, I'm like, it's one of those things, right? Like you've always told me, age is mindset. Always think as long
There's
as you
a
are.
UFC geriatric fight coming up.
What, they need to bring Ken Shamrock back at this point?
Bring mine as well. What the hell,
Who could Ken fight from that? That's
Fight the winner of those two.
Yeah, right? Just put it in
Put it all in one night. That's what they used to do in the UFC anyway. You
Just
guys
go
are
old
used to.
school with all three of them.
Yeah, bring Big Country in. What the heck, man?
Big Country would be the young buck in that group.
Yeah, but he still used to do that shit. What the hell?
Oh my
bring
gosh.
them all back, man.
That would be funny.
Do a roundhouse one night. Just do. No weight classes, no nothing. That's
Just let them fight.
That's what they used to do in the UFC. It was great when they used to do that stuff.
Bring Randy Couture back, throw him in there.
What the hell? Bring him back too. So
that would be fun.
Randy Couture and oh my God, who else can we bring back?
Go find Gracie.
Gracie, yeah. Remember, did you ever watch any of the real old Gracie fights?
I've watched a couple, but not like full, like just clips on YouTube. Like I've seen some clips that people have sent me. But
oh, dude, I remember this one
because he came out in the gi, right? Like he actually fought in the gi.
He came out one time in this one fight. It was in a cage, and I don't remember who he was fighting. I think it was Shamrock or somebody. He was coming out, and he was like, "Here's this little dude fighting a big dude," and nobody really knew what jiu-jitsu was then. And he comes out and he just kind of grabs on. He does like this flip and grabs him by the legs, standing, and just holds on to the guy around the waist while he's choking him in the air. The guy's standing and he's just beating him, trying to get him off of him, and can't get him off. And don't just falls over, and everybody's like, "What the fuck just happened?" You're like, "What the hell was that?" And that's it. Kind of got jiu-jitsu like. How the hell is this guy doing? He just beat this guy that's 10 times his size.
I was going to say, from everything I've read about it, what Gracie did was introduce the world to jiu-jitsu.
Yes.
Before that, nobody knew what jiu-jitsu was.
No.
And then Gracie comes in with jiu-jitsu, and all of a sudden the world's just like, I gotta
do that.
I gotta do that.
What the hell is that?
Like, how the hell is this small guy taking out all these big guys?
Yeah.
And that's what everybody went out and learned because it just...
Now everybody knows it, so it's like, okay...
But you know what's cool, like talking, because I listen to a lot of Joe Rogan shows, and then he brings on all these other guys, and it's funny, like listening to the other guys he brings on, who all talk about jiu-jitsu and how it changed their lives. It's crazy how the discipline of jiu-jitsu in people's lives, like there's guys who quit smoking, quit drinking.
Here's the thing I always notice. Have you ever noticed the wrestlers that learn jiu-jitsu are better than a jiu-jitsu that learns wrestling?
Oh, yeah.
It turns out way better. If you learn wrestling first and then go to jiu-jitsu, the discipline of wrestling and the balance and skill it takes to be a wrestler, and then jiu-jitsu is just like a natural movement into it, like a natural evolution into something different.
No, but
it makes just a world of difference.
I mean, you look at some of these wrestlers, you look at a lot of the fighters in MMA in general, the guys with wrestling base, the guys that wrestled in high school and in college, and then
they kick butt.
Their foundation is a lot solider than a lot of the other guys.
Wrestling's a hell of a discipline. I mean, I did that for years, and I coached it. It's a hell of a discipline to do, and it's when you do that first, it's almost like jiu-jitsu just comes naturally, except for the going to the back thing. I had issues with that when I first started jiu-jitsu. It's like naturally as a wrestler, you don't go to your back, so you go to your back, and then boom, you turn over. Now you get choked. Yeah. After that happens a couple times, it's like. That's not a good idea. I'm going to go to my back. But then you try to go to a wrestling tournament after that, and you're like, crap, I just got pinned. It's like, yeah, you have to kind of try to, it's a discipline. It definitely is. And a lot of practice, a lot of discipline to start doing that.
No, but it's cool. Like, it's one thing that eventually, like, when I finish school, I'd like to learn the discipline of jiu-jitsu, just because I've heard of it, the benefit it has for so many people.
And then you move from jiu-jitsu into like a Muay Thai or something like that. Where you start getting your wrestling base and some of your submission moves,
and you start tweaking them into it.
You start tweaking them into the punching and the kicking and all of that with it, and you learn that. So that's where UFC comes in. The multifaceted,
mixed martial arts,
the
whole idea of multiple disciplines.
Multiple arts at one time, and that really makes a difference. And then if you get into judo. The throws of judo, you see some of the judo fighters out there.
And that's what Rhonda did, right? Rhonda was a judo champ, Olympic.
Yes.
Was she an Olympic judo champ?
I think she was. I thought she was. And then you get into judo, the throws, and now you're throwing a whole nother discipline in there. Wrestling has a lot of throws. Okay. So that if you combine like a wrestler with judo, And I trained a guy like that. I coached him many years ago when I coached at a school. And this kid did phenomenal at wrestling because now he refined. And he loved to take his wrestling to his judo practice when he would do it because he was learning another skill. And he actually improved his judo at the same time. But he was able to bring some of that into wrestling because wrestling, you do throw people.
Right.
So he brought that into it. And he's doing throws and stuff. And it's like, dude, what the hell did you just do? You know, show me that move and how can I adapt it? You know, so it was kind of neat to adapt some of the other disciplines into it. So,
Nice.
and then when I coached too, we used to bring some jujitsu into it, and I used to get railed up by the refs. The refs used to yell at me, "You can't teach your kids that shit. Bullshit. My kid just won." So, yeah. Anyway, we're I don't know how much time we got going on. We're over an hour.
10 minutes, yeah.
We're getting up there. So let's. I think
we gotta rate this beer.
Dude, you gotta cut that fucking.
I'm not cutting the beard.
No, not the beard. You gotta cut that gray.
I'll cut
shit
the
off.
mustache. Jeez Louise, but I'm leaving that gray hair. I'm gonna cut everything except the gray hair just to annoy you.
You're gonna leave the beard.
Yeah.
So leave the beard, shave the whole mustache except for that one freaking.
Yeah.
hair.
I'm just gonna leave that to annoy you. Just annoy.
That would be funny as hell, though, dude. I want to see you do it.
Just annoy the.
You just leave like a little Hitler mustache there with that coming out.
You want me to get?
You know that
shot?
might be a new like style where you have the full beard and shave this and just have a little Hitler thing going on with a beard.
You want me to get shot?
Dude, that might be kind of interesting.
Do you realize
Is that a style today?
Do you realize that
You could be a trendsetter.
with the political climate today, if I walked outside with a Hitler stash, I'm getting shot.
Oh, fuck him.
Granted, I don't.
No, because you got a beard, dude. Hitler didn't have a beard.
That's true. Actually, people who'd shoot me don't. No. I don't want to say that. People on the left are shooting people, so they have guns too.
Yeah, everybody's got them nowadays.
Vanilla Porter, Breckenridge Brewery. We got to rate this thing before we get out of here.
I'm gonna probably give it the same. I've had some good porters. Like I said in the beginning, I'm not into real sweet beers. This beer is pretty darn sweet tasting. I think the vanilla with the porter mix, it's kind of got a chocolate vanilla taste. Again, ice cream. This beer would be awesome over ice cream, like a porter float.
Right.
I think it would actually be really good. A little cherry on top, maybe. I don't know. But anyway, this would be damn good doing that. Drinking wise, you know, I can drink one, maybe two, and I'd be done drinking. This is not a beer where I can sit around like the rye, the farmhouse rye.
Drink a few of them.
Yeah, I can sit there and, you know, at a party or something, you're hanging out, you have a few beers, hang out with your buddies. Low in alcohol, not going to hit you real hard unless you start slamming them. So you can kind of casually drink some beers. This stuff, a little bit higher, 5.4, still not that bad, but heavy. This is a heavier beer for sure, but it's a porter.
Yeah,
so
it's supposed to.
But sweet for me. I'm just saying sweet for me. As a porter, it's all right. How about you?
What's your rating?
I'm gonna probably go 1 1/4 on this one, only because of the sweetness. If you like sweet beers, you'll probably rate this one a whole lot higher. If you really like the sweet porters, try it. I would definitely say to try this. For myself, I'm not into the sweet ones as much.
Okay, so for me, the hard part with this, like, I'm not a huge dark beer drinker in general.
Okay.
But the porters I've had are usually pretty smooth. Like, the flavor kind of holds. I didn't like how the flavor went real strong vanilla to real strong, like, just like a porter.
Okay.
Like a regular porter. Like, it was almost like drinking two beers. Where I got the vanilla.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, for me it was the opposite, but still, it was like two beers.
It flopped for you, but for me it was like the vanilla was real strong up front, and then it was like a real bitey aftertaste.
Yeah.
The aftertaste I actually enjoyed. Like, I enjoyed the porter. If it didn't have the vanilla, I think the porter would be very smooth, more what I would enjoy out of like the porters that I've had. But that vanilla was just so strong up front.
The vanilla is strong.
It was just like, not overpowering in the sense that it was all vanilla, but it was a very powerful vanilla. So in that case, I'm gonna give it a 1. Just
a 1. Wow,
yeah,
you're going that low. So I was 1 1/4. So we're 2 1/4 on this one.
Yeah, I'm being a little harsh on.
So we were 2 3/4 on the Shiner Farmhouse Rye.
And then we're 2 1/4 on the vanilla.
2 1/4 on the vanilla. Yeah, and I'm a dark beer drinker, so normally you think I'd be a little higher on this.
I thought you would.
Yeah,
because the porter, the flavor on it's not bad. That vanilla is just, it doesn't feel like it's even.
Yeah,
like it feels.
It is very strong.
Right, it's not like an even vanilla consistency. So, and I don't know if that's how it's supposed to be with a porter.
Well, it looks like they have like chocolate mountains on the cover here. So I mean, it is pretty. But, and I actually, when I got this beer, I was thinking this was going to be pretty good.
Right.
Maybe a porter with some mild vanilla behind it.
Right.
Which I think would be really good. It did. It sounded.
I mean, when I pulled it out, I was like, "Oh, this is going to be something I'm going to because I typically like vanilla flavoring and stuff.
Yeah.
So
it's just a little overpowering, the vanilla.
Yeah, it wasn't even. Like, it didn't feel smooth or even.
Well, it's like people that put coffee in a lot of their beers. I've said it before. You don't need that much coffee in your beer. I mean, we're drinking beer, not coffee. A little hint of coffee in like a dark stout or a porter. You see that in there.
The smoky flavor in barbecue. Yeah, you just want a hint of it. You don't want to overpower.
And people will just dump that coffee in there, and it's like, dude, you don't need that much coffee. It's like, but some people like it. But if you want to appeal to the masses, I don't think the masses are really into that. Yeah. So, True. Again, it's, and most small breweries, of course, want to go big. Every small brewery wants to go big. That's the dream, of course, right. I think, of every small brewery.
Yeah, and everyone tries to do something.
They do.
They do a good job. I mean, they're trying. Like, Breckenridge, I've had a couple beers from them, and typically it's really good. So,
I've had them, too. They're not too bad.
I just think that vanilla flavor is not consistent, but if you're a dark beer drinker and that's what you're expecting, maybe I'm off.
I'm a dark beer drinker, so this is
and that's not. It's just not something I'm used to. So maybe that's how it's supposed to taste. And if that's the proper way it's supposed to taste, then I'm wrong, and I would rate it higher.
Okay, here's something though. Next week, I already picked it up. Okay. We're gonna do a vanilla next week, but it's not a porter. But we are doing a vanilla beer next week. Okay, you've seen it.
That's the cream ale, right?
The cream ale. Yeah. So we're gonna do a vanilla cream ale, which is different to put it into an ale. So we're gonna do a vanilla again next week because I don't mind vanilla. I'm not into the sweet beers, like I said, so a mild vanilla might be all right behind it. Mm-hmm. We'll have to see if this one's as strong this week.
We'll see next week.
So this week, again, Shiner, Farmhouse Rye, 2 3/4.
Yep, Vanilla
Porter, Breckenridge.
Breckenridge. 2 1/4.
2 1/4. So that's out of 4 stars, by the way. Yep. So or 4 thumbs up, I should say. Yeah. So it's a little lighter on the vanilla porter. Again, judge these for yourself. You may want to pick them up and try them out yourself and see what you think. We kind of give you an idea of what you're going to expect at least when you try it. The strong vanilla, all of this stuff. The Shiner is a good drinking beer around.
Everyone's palate's different, so we're trying to give you just our takes on what our palate's telling us. So.
Exactly. And Christians, stop judging each other. Stop that shit. I have tattoos.
Judge him hardcore.
Fuck all you. I don't really give a shit.
Judge him.
So, right here, you can see it somewhere in here if I can get my hands right. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Patreon. We're actually looking at, we talked about tonight, actually putting some of our podcasts on a few other areas out there.
I posted on Facebook too. We're gonna strip the audio so people can listen to this.
Yeah, so
online,
we can get them on
audio. So we're gonna get that figured out this week. And we'll get the
stripping
audio.
It's easy. I can do that.
Right. We got to figure out the process of getting the audio.
The technology.
So we'll get everything uploaded audio-wise, and once we get that all figured out.
The technology. Beam me up.
So once we get all that sorted out of how to upload the audio to the various different ways, iTunes, Android, whatever it is, we'll post that out on Facebook and post it on YouTube somewhere. So
that one's really pretty cool.
Well, this is real sci-fi.
Sounds like we're in a can.
Good morning, Dave.
Dave's not here.
Good morning, Dave.
Dave's not here.
Good morning, Dave.
Dave's not here.
What was the guy's name in that movie?
Dave?
No, the computer.
Oh, you're talking about that other movie.
Good morning, Dave.
What the hell was that?
2001 Space Odyssey.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Good morning, Dave.
Dude, you're dating yourself. You're old, aren't you? Dude, isn't that movie like 50 years old or something?
Hey, Evel Knievel did his jump 50 years ago, and I was quoting that.
Damn, man.
Yeah, 2001 Space Odyssey, Stanley Kubrick.
I think I like that effect better. That one's pretty cool.
HAL 2000?
HAL 2000, that's right.
HAL 2000?
HAL 2000, yeah.
That's who it was.
Yeah.
Hey, HAL.
So. All right, so we're on all these different things. You can find us there and stuff. Subscribe to us on YouTube.
Yeah, hit the subscribe button.
So if you're watching us from Facebook, go over to YouTube. Subscribe to us if you don't mind. Go to Patreon. We'd love to have a little donation. We do give a lot of our donation to. We're going to give it away.
Yeah,
it's kind of the plan. So I'm not money hungry.
No
need for it.
We'll figure all that out, but we are going to try and get the audio up for
everyone.
Don't
need to be money hungry.
What?
Don't need to be money hungry.
No, we need to be greedy.
Actually,
it's not greedy. It's if we're living our faith
Dude,
properly.
You know what I want? I want a new fucking jet.
What?
Buy me a jet.
Buy you a jet?
I need a jet. People, I need a jet. I need a new jet.
Do not.
I need a
Do not give him money for a jet. I need a jet.
No. I need a jet so I can.
I am the voice of reason here for you.
I need a jet.
No.
Because, God only talks to you when you're in a jet.
No.
He doesn't talk to these peons on the ground.
No.
He only talks when you're a jet.
No.
Because I'm up closer to him.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
The beer's getting to you.
I need a jet.
The beer's getting to you.
Give me a jet.
Oh, Lemuel, strong.
And not only a jet, a yacht too.
Strong
because then I can go out by on the ocean.
Not for kings.
I need a jet and
no.
a yacht.
No.
That'd be awesome.
No.
A jet and a yacht.
Anyways,
I need subscribe a jet and a
on subscribe on YouTube. We'll get the audio. We'll get that figured out this week and get that posted up for everyone, so you can listen to it while at work and listen to us ramble.
Buy me a jet.
Don't buy him a jet.
A jet. I don't even know what models of jets are out there, so don't just a jet.
Don't donate if he's gonna buy a jet. We don't need the money.
We need a jet.
No.
Nobody's gonna give us enough for a freaking jet, dude. Come on.
Dude, so far 2 pastors have gotten jets.
I need a jet. I know. I don't understand that, dude.
So both of them for $65 million. That's like $130 million that people have donated, knowing they're gonna buy a jet with it.
Yeah, I don't get it, man.
If you're somebody out there who's donating money so that 2 men could have bought a jet, by all means, will you pay off my house?
Yeah, and then buy me a jet.
Maybe he's asking for $65 million. I'm just asking you to pay off my mortgage.
No, dude, you know what? Honestly, if somebody gave me $65 million, I wouldn't even know it. I wouldn't buy a jet. I wouldn't even know what to do with it. I'd probably give half of it away, at least.
Yeah, what
am I going to do with that much money? I don't need that much money. It'd be nice, but what the hell? I don't need it.
I could invest enough of it to where I could live off the interest of it, where I wouldn't need all of it.
No.
That's ridiculous.
No, look at all these rich people that are doing anything. That don't have anything else in their life, don't have Christ in their life or anything else. They're all killing themselves, half of them.
Well, suicide is a white privilege problem.
It is nowadays.
It's a problem of the upper class.
It is. It's definitely become a problem.
The lower you get in the income level, the less suicide. The higher in the income level, the more people are killing themselves. It's kind of interesting.
I need a jet.
Stop. People, have a good week.
Have a great week.
We'll get the audio up.
I'm Jeff.
I'm Dave.
All right, everybody. Talk to you next week.
Yep, absolutely. Oh, real quick. This was our 10th episode. We made it to 10.
We made it, dude. 10 celebration.
10. Absolutely.
Have a beer.
Well, we already drank them, but.
All right, guys.
Hey, guys.
Have a great week.
You too.